Welcome to Behind the Music with
Déjàh Rêvé.
Today we have Beastie, who performed Hellscraper. Our first question for Beastie is, what does that mean? What is Hellscraper?
Hellscraper actually comes from a I can't remember who the architect was, but there is an architect that designed a house, his own house, and he wanted to subvert a skyscraper. And so instead of it being really, really high, it went really, really low, down to the earth. And I saw it like online somewhere, and I just always found it really, really beautiful. And the setup of it is crazy. But I think that when I was kind of making this tape and this song, I was just kind of thinking about being at a real low point in my life and just being kind of so low, kind of paired with a hellscraper as opposed to a skyscraper. And I just think it kind of looks cool, but that's where it came from.
How would you describe what Sofia represents about where you are musically right now?
I think that Sofia is like the first step of me trying to carve out like artistic identity. Obviously everything I've released up until this point has been purely me and like my self-expression, but I think that this is the first time that I've tried to make something completely personal, and like every single song is more than just like something that sounds cool or something I think is catchy or whatever. It's all particularly meaningful to myself, and it's all kind of like collected in this one small short project that has a kind of beginning, middle, and end, and like has like a certain point to make, so yeah, it's definitely the most intentional I've been in like my music career so far.
How do you feel like the tracks on Sofia differ from Will Smith or K?
I think that I like to think in terms of colors, and I think that Will Smith, K, even Run Logan Run, they're all very like earth tone, very brown, very like warm. Sofia is like all white, very, very bright, very bare, very barren. And again, like I think it's just me trying to push myself, push like sonically, push my like audience a bit more. Like Sofia is kind of one of the more stripped back songs I've made that's just built off a string loop. Doesn't really feature guitar. All the same, it's quite like sparse and can be quite like jarring at times and quite tragic sounding. Hellscraper, the crazy bombastic drums and the samples getting thrown in here left, right. It's kind of like just me inching forward into like experimenting more sonically and, just, yeah.
You performed a bit now some of these songs and previously other tracks. Do you feel like performing music has changed how you make music?
Definitely. My first show I ever did, it was me in a 4-piece band. And I love that show. I love the band and how we kind of made the song sound live. But there's an element of like the digital world that kind of runs through my music that stemmed from me being like a bedroom producer. And when I had to do that show, I had to change a lot of the songs to fit a 4-piece band. And that's never something that I kind of like, I realized then that I wasn't very conscious of that when I was making those songs, how it would translate to a live setting. And even the idea of live music was so kind of like foreign to me because I'd never done something like that. It felt like a chore or like something I was like nervous to get to do, as opposed to something that's another form of my self-expression. So like the music that I'm making now, and definitely with Sofia, it blends the digital with the live a lot more. And especially going forward, I'm like trying to find a way to blend the digital and the live into my live performances, whether that's me playing with a sampler and a keyboard paired with a backing band, or whether it's me and my laptop paired with someone else. It's an ongoing thing, but it's definitely part of me realizing my identity as an artist more and more, and just understanding how I want that to be translated live, you know.
Earlier we were talking about the Kanye documentary, and obviously this is year we've also had the Diddy documentary. How do you think these revelations, these insights into these artists has changed your perception of stardom and the pinnacle of success?
I feel like extreme celebrity has never been interesting to me, or like extreme fame has never been something I want to aspire to. And I think seeing kind of these people that have been kind of benchmarks in my life, like creatively, they've kind of always been there. They've kind of been like a part of the furniture when it comes to the music I was raised on. And seeing these kind of like demons come to light, and just how kind of how far they've fallen. It's just reaffirming that that's not something I really want anything to do with. Like I feel like fame is a byproduct, but the main thing is just good art and being a good person. And yeah, I mean, I just want to keep on doing that.
Last question. This year we've seen probably the biggest progression of AI in not only the creation of music, but labels partnering with AI companies. What role do you think AI has to play in music going forward?
I feel like it's kind of inevitable. I'm not one of these people that think that it's just going to go away. Because one, as soon as the labels start to pick up on it, you know that they see money on it and they're not going to let that die. But I think that there's a clear distinction between AI art and AI artists and like actual creatives. And in my head, the world in which I exist in and the kind of people that I kind of make my music for and the people I wish to serve like creatively is so far away from the people that would even think about consuming AI art, especially like in this time, in this generation. Like 500 years now, who knows what people are doing, but I think that's a world apart. But the way that people are going to be using it, I'm sure that there'll be interesting ways. I saw JPEG Mafia had a really interesting way of using AI to like recreate a future song and then sample that in one of his tracks, which is an interesting way of using AI. And I'm excited to see how people kind of do it like that. But in terms of like the actual creation of it and just generation of art and music like that, that's for the birds, man. I ain't got no interest in that at all. No worries.